trying to turn the corner. Zubac's right with him. The foul by Westbrook. No, Batum out of the pack. Two bodies on the floor. Zubac and Westbrook. They play 4-on-4. Leonard, step back three. He hits again. He can't miss. 32 points.
Got that feeling.
And now, here's Rob Dibble.
Oh, man. I don't know if they're NBA upsets, but there were some NBA upsets last night as Detroit takes out the Knicks. Clippers, they take out the Denver Nuggets. Let's start with the Knicks. You had Bill Ryder on yesterday. He covers the NBA, and he said this about Detroit. He said, he was a little bit of a coward for not taking Detroit, but he felt that Detroit was going to beat the Knicks in this second game, and he said exactly what happened in this game. Karl Anthony Towns did not score 25. He was a -10, didn't play great on defense. He scored 10 points, 5 for 11 from shooting, 0 for 2 from 3, basically a non-factor in this game. And then when you ask some of the players after the game what happened, they were like, the offense was just a little bit sluggish. You look like you were worn out after one game. And, you're on your home court, so you didn't defend your home court. You let them split. So Detroit's got to be very happy going home with a game in pocket, going back for 2 in Detroit.
Yeah, they played great last night. They played great game 1, too. Watching this game, man, I thought, and I told Kurt this when I saw him in the first, Bill Ryder nailed it. Like, if you're listening to our show yesterday and you were hating on what Bill Ryder was saying about your New York Knicks,
yep.
you cannot look at Bill Ryder today in the face and say otherwise, because he was all over it. The one thing that really frustrated me in the first half, every single missed shot from the New York Knicks, it's palms up and looking to the ref. Come on, what?
Right,
Come
well,
on.
looking for the fouls.
Dude, it's playoff basketball. Yep. Like, I thought we'd been
a lot more
schooled on this. Like, you're not going to get those ticky-tack fouls anymore. And I thought the Detroit Pistons really took it to him. Cade Cunningham's great. Like, he is a star in the making. This Paul Reed, this number 7 who got sparing, I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he got a monster block that has not been on any highlight reel I've seen. Karl Anthony Towns, and it's just playing so laissez-faire last night. He is like 7 foot tall, and when he shoots, he's like 9 foot tall. This Paul Reed dude blocks his three-point attempt to the rafters, and I've never seen that before. And it's like this team, 1 through 8, or I think they played 9, 1 through 9 is hustling, playing defense, and has no fear about the New York Knicks or Madison Square Garden.
And the veteran coming off the bench that I love, and I loved him when he was a Laker. They got rid of him. Dennis Schroeder is on this team. 20 points for this cat. Played some good defense, 3 for 5 from 3. That's what you need. You need some guys off the bench. So they had, they had 35 points off the bench last night for the Pistons. Knicks had 8.
That's telling.
So you go bench to bench. I love to go bench to bench. It's like, listen, if you're deep in Detroit, and I know the Knicks are deep, I don't blame this on Tom Thibodeau. I blame this on the players. You didn't execute. You didn't do it in the fourth quarter. You had two quarters where you scored 18 points in the first and the third. What'd you do when you came out of halftime? Half asleep? I mean, were you meditating in halftime? I mean, that's to me very telling when the other team comes out, outscores you in the third quarter, then keeps up with you in the fourth quarter and beats you by 6 on your home court. As we said before, 2-2, 1-1-1. Right now, it's 1-1. It's a 5-game series going to Detroit for 2.
I just thought Detroit played harder. I think Jalen Brunson had a decent game, but he can't be. A lot of their offense is isolation, and it's weird to see from the New York Knicks team where you got one guy with the ball and everybody kind of watching around, and maybe
reminds me of 80s, 90s NBA.
Little bit.
You guys go on that side of the court, and Michael Jordan or somebody is going to, Isaiah Thomas or somebody's going to, get down over here.
I do like OG Anunoby. I thought he had some big buckets, but it's few and far between. It was hard for him to make any kind of shot from the outside. They were struggling from three-pointer, and you could say it's just them missing shots, but I have to give credit to Detroit's defense. I thought they were hustling all over the place. Hey, man, the best basketball player in the league, again, might be Kawhi Leonard. He played last night and, is really good.
Lights out.
This dude is so
39
frustrating.
Points last night, because you don't know what Kawhi's going to show up. No Paul George, no problem.
Yeah,
this guy was unbelievable, but he has been his whole career. You know, when he wasn't with San Antonio fighting the whole quad thing,
And
goes
that was
to
a
Toronto,
1-2.
wins a championship.
Yeah, that was a 1-2.
And I just think that this guy is a very quiet, shy man. We always joke about when he talked about, hey, I'm a fun guy. You know, I mean, ha, ha, ha. I mean, it's just, he's a basketball player. He reminds me of some guys I played with that just no nonsense. Come in, play, go home. You never even knew they were there. They were first out of the shower, didn't talk to the reporters much because they didn't want a light shown on them. And this is the one thing I love about Kawhi. But, I mean, a lot of these guys have been banged up their careers. I don't know if it's the generation or what, but, yeah, he was awesome last night.
It was just frustrating to see because I know he can be like this all the time. It's the first time I've seen it really in a Clippers uniform. Hopefully we get it from here on out. And this is turning into a great series. The Denver Nuggets last night looked like they needed a head coach at the end of the game. They had a chance to tie that ball game with a three-pointer, and they threw up Braun.
You fired your head coach 3 games left in the season.
I could not get that out of my head in the last 2 minutes of this game. It's like there's just so many possessions. Like, okay, you guys should probably call timeout and get something together here. And like, no, okay, you're just going to roll with it. And all right, we're just going to take that shot. Okay, and then Kawhi's got the ball on the other end, working down the shot clock, and takes a great mid-range jumper where that Zubac or the big center that they got is such a vacuum cleaner down there and cleans things up. But Jokic is great. Jokic is awesome. Jokic, and this team is really good. Like the Nuggets, if you like them in their championship run, it's that team with Russell Westbrook playing really good basketball. Russell Westbrook's hustling. Russell Westbrook's very unselfish on this team. But when Jokic is not on the court, they're not good. Like they're a minus at all factors on the court when Jokic isn't there. And it's just, I don't know. They're so good. They're so there. They should be the Oklahoma City Thunder of the West. But one reason or another, they just aren't. And the Clippers stole a game from them last night. I think the Nuggets should be up 2-0, but both of those games have been so good so far in this series. I think this one goes 7. And if Kawhi wants to, they're going to win. The Clippers are going to beat the Nuggets.
Kind of blows me away, too, because they shot 66 threes between them. They made, 27? I mean, they're both, the Clippers are right around 40. The Nuggets are right around 44. I mean, they should have shot more threes. It's kind of like what you do during the regular season, you're not doing any longer. And here's the thing with Jokic. He's a really good three-point shooter and a great facilitator. You just need some help. You need a couple more people. And like you said, Russell Westbrook played 23 minutes. He scored 14 points. Didn't play great defense. You know, I mean, so he's kind of older, slower version of himself. And I think right now, Denver, like the Knicks, losing at home, I don't think it's a series ender. But you brought up the point. Why'd you fire your head coach right before the end of the season? What had he done where you dropped like 7 games in a row where you felt, you know what, this, and I hate this, but they say it all, he lost the locker room? Do you even have the locker room? I mean, are you more than a glorified babysitter that they'll listen to sometimes the last 2 minutes of the first half, last 2 minutes of a game, the rest of the time? They're pretty much doing their own thing anyway. They're grown men. You know, I don't look for the coach as much in basketball, baseball. I need them to make the right calls to the bullpen, that kind of stuff, and not screw up games. But it's more the players know what needs to be done at the end of ball games. And just like the Knicks, they didn't play great defense at the end of last night's game. Same thing with the Nuggets last night. That's where you needed a couple of takeaways. And almost every NBA game comes down to the final 4 or 5 minutes of a game. It could be whatever in the first half, but the final 4 or 5 minutes is where you need a head coach and you need someone to be pushing these guys a little bit more. Hey, we need some stops right here. We're not going to win this game.
Or pointing out that they have 20 turnovers. That's the biggest thing for Denver last night. Well,
that's just sloppy basketball.
Sloppy basketball, and it looks like the stuff that they were doing in any other form of basketball I've ever played, my coach is going to get really mad about that pass. Or, man, I'm really going to hear about, or this guy's going to get taken out for that. Or, again, the last 13 seconds are so irking to me because you can't watch that and be a basketball fan and know, this is a time where you need a point guard to settle it down. This is a time where you need a coach to call timeout. This is just a time to regroup. And like you're saying, the last 45 seconds, last 13, we need 3. we have got to get a good shot here. If we're going to go out there like a bunch of YMCA pickup basketball players and just throw up bricks on the corner, you're not going to win games at this time.
Right.
You might be able to do it the regular season, but this is the playoffs, and the Clippers are a decent team that's going to take your lunch, and they did it last night. If you mess around with some bad turnovers when it's in crucial possessions and just bad shots when it's in crucial possessions.
Well, and like you said, Jokic, he had 7 turnovers, and Jamal Murray, your 2 best players, had 11 of those 20 turnovers just between the 2.
Right.
That can't happen.
Very
But
telling.
are they listening to the interim coach? Do they care what these coaches have to say at this point? And are you kind of like concerned that, you know what, we love the old head coach, we won a championship with him, and there was no reason to get rid of him other than the owner, who is the son of Stan Kroenke, the billionaire.
Right,
You know, it was a weird flex, and I think some of these guys in the NBA like to flex their muscle. That nope, I'm in charge. I'm not going to listen to this guy. And maybe it was a bad. Here's the one thing you never know. Maybe it was a bad meeting in the boardroom. Maybe you were going over some future stuff and you didn't like this guy, what he had to say, and you're like, you know what, we got to get rid of this guy. This guy's a problem. And it's like, and everybody else, because it's kind of save your own butt around the table, is like, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right, sir. You're right, sir. And boom, that guy's out.
Well, I think it cost him a game last night, but those were 2 great basketball games. I'm looking forward to these 2 series to continue. Both of them tied at 1 apiece. We've got games tonight.
We got
Pacers,
action
Bucks,
tonight.
Oklahoma City Grizz, and then the Los Angeles Lakers. Could they lose 2 at home to start the series with
God,
the
I hope
Minnesota
so.
Timberwolves? I'm rooting Anthony Edwards big time tonight. NHL was great last night as well. 4 1-goal games. 2 were in overtime. If you are a puckhead, you are just basking in the hockey glory of the playoffs. And last night it was on display, man. There's the Dallas Stars even things up in overtime with the Avalanche. The Capitals had to go to overtime with the Canadiens. Those were both big wins for those 2 teams. Capitals getting the first game of that series, and then Dallas evening it up against Colorado. But the other 2 were 1 goals as well. A lot of goals in the Kings Oilers as LA takes down Edmonton, and then the Jets beat the Blues 2-1. Great night for sports and playoffs, man, all over the place.
Baseball, we had a lot of action last night. The Yankees lost. They get out. The Guardians got out to an early lead. Maybe it was that early start. Maybe the sun was in their eyes. Who knows what was happening? They got some runs late, but they end up losing that game. I look at this lineup, and I just think these guys are very much like last year's lineup, where if you get some good pitchers that change speeds, make them make bad decisions and chase pitches outside of the strike zone, they strike out too much. Nick Federico, who does our YouTube channel, Kurt Kaplan on the 1s and 2s. When we were talking earlier, Nick and I, the 2 leaders in strikeouts on your Yankees are Jazz Chisholm with 31 right now. What are we, 23 games into the season? And Volpe's got 26 strikeouts. So, yes, all the hullabaloo after the first weekend of the series season with your torpedo bats is swing and missing. You know, you're supposed to be hitting the middle of the barrel. Well, if you're not hitting the barrel at all and you're swinging and missing,
or the bat,
you strike out. Right. And the one thing that really irks me about Jazz Chisholm is his on-base percentage is below 300. It's atrocious.
Jeez.
You got to get on base for these big sluggers. Goldschmidt, Judge, these are guys that want to drive in runs. Bellinger, if he hits ever, these guys need ducks on the pond, and they're just not doing that early in the game, and that's how the Guardians, they got confident. Guardians just find a way to win. They're not the better roster. They certainly don't spend. They spend a third of the money. They spend $100 million to your $300 million, and they still find a way to win with pitching and a little bit more offense.
I want to know Jose Ramirez's stats
against the Yankees.
Just against the Yankees, dude.
I think he's tremendous against everybody, but it seems like he lights the world on fire against the Yankees.
Okay, this is from StatMuse.com, so this is really quick. But 43 hits, 9 homers, 19 RBI, 25 runs scored. He bats .394 against the Yankees.
Yeah, he was two for 5 last night with 4 runs driven in, and he does it quietly. He just quietly goes about his business. Great third baseman, big wad of chew in his mouth, and he doesn't speak to the media that much. So
is he a Hall of Famer?
If he continues along this road, absolutely. His statistics will determine that.
Yeah.
Listen, he's been a star from day one.
I love him.
And
I love
exactly. And he's one of the most underrated. He's not a pretty looking ball player.
Played in one of the worst
He's kind of
markets
round. He's kind of round. He's just not your flashy guy. Doesn't wear a lot of jewelry. He's just a ball player, and he plays in Cleveland. So you never really hear about him until the MVP or the batting title.
Right.
Those are when you hear his name at the end of the season. Yet every year Cleveland seems to rack up 92 or 95 wins behind this guy. You got rid of Naylor, the huge bat in the middle of the lineup behind this guy. No problem. They can still put up runs.
Tim Anderson would vote for him for the Hall of Fame. He knocked his career right out of the ballpark.
Dude, you nailed Stephen Kwan about 5 years ago on the show. You're like, I really love that guy. And now he's hitting leadoff. He's got a 396 on base percentage. He's hitting over 300 at 333. He sets the table. 2 runs scored last night out of your 6. That's production from the top of your lineup. And the bottom of your lineup, what is it, Rocchio?
Yeah.
That kid had a run. He was on base a couple of times. I mean, that's what I need from the top and the bottom of my lineup. Guys just getting on base. You nailed it a long time ago with Austin Wells. If your guy's not over 300 on base percentage, why the hell are we leading him off?
I hate this. Why are they doing this? I was in the car and they announced
He's
the
hitting
lineup.
182 at the end of last night.
His on base percentage sucks too. Like
263 on base percentage.
Catcher. You don't do this. Like whoever's putting these lineups up, I can't put this on Boone because Boone is a baseball player and he knows better than this. You don't put your catcher as the leadoff spot. Even if you're doing a slow pitch softball game, you got the fastest catcher in the world. Still not leading off. I'm sorry. Then play a different position. There's a reason you're playing catcher. Great mustache, love him. Had that home run the first time, kind of shut me up for a little bit. But now he's batting 186. He's like a 260 on base percentage. That's not helping Judge out, not whatsoever.
And here are the 2 guys that are your security blanket around Judge and in front of Goldschmidt. So Wells is hitting 182 with a 263 on base percentage. Bellinger's hitting 183 with a 238 on base percentage. Those are the guys around Judge. You know what Judge is doing? This is how spectacular this dude is. He's hitting 384 with a 490 on base percentage. And last year, he was one of 2 people in Major League Baseball that had over 400 on base percentage. He takes the walks when you give them to him. Goldschmidt, 372, 421. The 2 dudes around him, Bellinger, 183. Chisholm hitting 161 with a 255 on base percentage. These guys are not doing their jobs. 23 games in. If I'm Boone and you don't move them down in the lineup, you got no set on you. And you're not standing up to these stupid analytics people that still think Wells deserves to hit first or Chisholm deserves to hit 5th. That's just stupidity.
Oh, got to give the Mets some love, man, especially Francisco Lindor.
Mets are hot, man.
2 home runs yesterday, needed it. 5-4 win over the Phillies, their rivals in that division. They are now 16-7 on the year, 10-1 in their ballpark. And Soto, another 0 night, but no problem.
He'll hit. Don't worry.
His boys around him are doing it for him. Lindor, a natural leadoff batter.
See, here's the thing you might be missing. They're getting good pitches, the bad pitches, and the trying to expand the strike zone because you know how good he is.
Yeah.
By the way, the other guy that hit over 400 on base percentage last year, or didn't hit it, but he was on base, Soto. So 2 guys in the same lineup last year that did it all for the Yankees. He is now across town, but he's not seeing pitches. He will see pitches eventually if they keep burning them, and that's what's happening right now.
He's taking walks, too. His on-base percentage is at 370, so he sets the table for Alonso, who I've just loved his season, where he gets paid, and he's still hitting even better than when he wasn't paid. But just Soto in the middle of that, I just love how his boys are kind of picking him up. And I hear what you're saying because I see these at-bats with Alonso, too, and it does help out his average and everything that he's seeing. But without Soto hitting, if Soto's hitting 250 and he's going to pop, and they're 16-7 beating the Phillies with other guys, Mets are in a really good spot right now.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the injuries a little bit later in the Daily Pickle. Next hour, Dallas Braden. It's a short show as the Yankees are taking on Cleveland. We'll also talk to David Benedict. It is a DB Tuesday. The initials of Dallas Braden and David Benedict. Dallas is a great guest. He is also the A's color commentator on their television, and he does an amazing job. So we'll talk about the A's. We'll talk about Major League Baseball with Dallas Braden next on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive, Kurt Kaplan on the 1s and 2s, and Nick Federico's on your YouTube video.